I lift up my head and I saw this other guy just waiting, doing the same thing with water in his hand, praying. We just like kinda locked eyes with each other for a few seconds. We both smiled, kinda like gave a nod, like we opened our iftar in school. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Ramadan Radio. This is Abdullah joining from Texas. Today I have my friend Zeynep as my guest. Zeynep, how are you doing and where are you joining from?
Hi, I'm so glad to be here today. My name is Zeynep and I'm joining from Rochester, New York.
Very nice, very nice. Today's topic is Ramadan and community social benefits of fasting during Ramadan. This is a pretty heavy topic in a way. It's a topic that I think a lot of us kind of think about daily, if intentionally, not intentionally, during Ramadan. Zeynep, what do you think about this topic?
I definitely agree. It is a heavy topic, but it is something that we encounter basically almost every day of Ramadan. So if you attend iftar with others at night, or if you go to Taraweeh with others at night, you see that we are always getting together with others. We're always, gathering in a way. So as we are interdependent, beings as humans, and then we're just getting together again and again during Ramadan, I think there are lots of social benefits that we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. First of all, I was thinking society is built on strong individuals. So Ramadan fasting makes you stronger. Absolutely. I fully agree on that. Also, fasting builds unity and brotherhood. That's a very big topic that all of us see that every day of Ramadan, especially if you spend it with family and friends. You have this like special bond during Ramadan, pretty much. What do you think?
Yes, so basically Ramadan helps us to have a lot of shared experiences. So think about it, like we begin fasting at the same time. We are waiting for iftar together. So like no one can eat until iftar in a place until the same time. We wake up for sahur at the same time. We go to Taraweeh prayers at the masjid together. We pray it as a congregation. We observe Laylatul Qadr together. We celebrate Eid together. It's just that Ramadan gives us so many shared experiences that we have so much, commonality to talk about. Like you're from Texas, I'm from Rochester, New York, but we have something in common like this month. It is that, we fast, we wake up for sahur. We do a lot of things with our communities. We do iftars, we go to Taraweeh. It's just that even if you don't know each other with another Muslim friend, you have so many things to talk about together.
Absolutely, absolutely. For example, in Texas, in Dallas, we have this thing called Ramadan Street, where in the weekends in our community center, they'll open these booths of like desserts, different kinds of foods, toys, activities for kids. And this weekend when I went to visit there to see what was happening there, I saw a couple of my friends I had not seen in maybe months or maybe even years, and it felt great to see them, especially during Ramadan. And it was like a really nice moment that I had to get spent with my friends once again.
That sounds super nice. So when you said that, I think about what we have here in Rochester, and we have, after the 8 rakas of Taraweeh, there are like couple coffee shops here. There are Yemeni coffee shops. Like last year, it was like a TikTok meme. What are these young people going after Taraweeh? It is the Yemeni coffee shops. So when I go to a coffee shop and I see like a coworker, or when I see somebody from there, and then I'm like, oh hey, salam alaikum. How are you doing? How is your Ramadan? It is so nice to talk about these together. And again, there is a social psychology of having a shared something, like we're all waiting for the iftar, or like we're all there after Taraweeh prayer. So as like the hadith says, like the believers in their mutual love, mercy, and compassion are like a single body. So like when one limb suffers, the rest of the body responds, So it's just like we're all together as parts of like one body. And it is super nice to have those commonalities that we can have.
Absolutely, absolutely. For example, a few days ago when I was in school, one of my last classes ends right before it's iftar time. So I get to get out of my class, find somewhere to sit. I usually pack my food before sahur, during sahur, so I can do my iftar quickly when I'm in school. And when I was sitting down waiting for azan time, I lift up my head and I saw this other guy just waiting, doing the same thing with water in his hand, praying. And we just like kind of locked eyes with each other for a few seconds. We both smiled, kind of like gave a nod, like we opened our iftar in school. That was like a very unique experience because he is a stranger, I'm a stranger to him, but
Exactly.
we are both Muslims who shared like a few seconds together as one, you know? That was a really special moment for me.
And like I completely agree with that. Like this week, actually just yesterday, so there is a Muslim girl in my class. I see her every day since the beginning of the semester, but I just, couldn't approach and say Assalamu alaikum. I just didn't. I know, like it's a little awkward for me sometimes. But since we're in Ramadan and my friends are hosting a friends iftar, actually 2 days from now on, so I was like, hey, I just thought to myself, Zeynep, you gotta approach her and maybe, talk to her, say, hey, how you doing? How is your Ramadan? Do you want to come to this iftar? Like, Ramadan is an experience where we can bond with our Muslim brothers and sisters without getting that awkwardness. So
Yes.
I approached her. I said, hey, how you doing? Salam alaikum. And then I told her, do you want to go to Taraweeh? Randomly, this is like the first time I'm having a conversation with this girl. She knows I'm Muslim. I know she's Muslim, but we never got to interact with each other. So I got her number. I texted her, hey, there's this, I invited her to Taraweeh. I invited her to a iftar. And now we're going to be besties. So it is an
That's very
amazing
nice.
experience. So
That's
like,
very nice.
Ramadan is a time where we see each other and have that nod to each other saying, hey, you fasting, I'm fasting.
Hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it also helps people understand the poor. It's amount of giving, both physically and like mentally. So we give up on eating, we give up on some of the worldly temptations mentally. We also should give up some of our money to the less fortunate. That's very important, I think. What do you think?
Definitely. So fasting allows us to experience the hunger and which builds empathy for those who suffer from poverty, who are less fortunate, and it encourages us to be more generous. It increases the charitable acts during Ramadan. So I don't know if you have ever attended those donation nights in your local mosque, but I do attend sometimes. And when I attend the donation nights, I realize, how much people are more willing to give away during Ramadan. Like last year, my local mosque did it during the Laylatul Qadr. And people gave away so much, mashallah. I was so happy to see that people are donating a lot. There are two aspects of fasting helps people understand the poor. One aspect is that the rich understand the poor. But the other aspect is that the rich understand that what the rich has is not actually theirs. Like what I have is not actually mine. I have water in front of me, I can't drink it. Like if I have food in front of me, I can't eat it. I don't know how mine that is. I can't control that. So it is realizing that whatever we have, everything we have is in the hands of Allah and kind of appreciating that fact.
Absolutely. For example, I have spring allergies, also called as hay fever, right? Normally, any other month of the year, I'll take my medicine and I'll move on with my day. But for example, today, I woke up and I have allergies, my nose is stuffed, and there's nothing I can do right now to fix
Yes,
that. But comes iftar time, I just take my medication and I'm fine. But it makes me think, right? There are less fortunate there around the world that cannot afford the medications, right? So that makes me realize, in a way, how I am technically the rich, because I don't have to worry about
yes.
a lot of these worldly problems that a lot of people have to deal with. It's really changed my world, especially this Ramadan. How comfortable I'm going through with it. In a way, it made me realize how uncomfortable, how hard some people have around the world.
Yes, so realizing when we talk about like rich, I always talk about like people who have, 4 or 5 cars, live in extremely nice houses, and have a humongous like, wealth. But it's not that. Having, clean water, having access to just basic necessities is also being rich, in my opinion, because there are so many people, what you say, from not accessing to a certain medicine to not having access to clean water. There are so many people who are not fortunate, in this world, and understanding that provides that social balance between rich and poor during Ramadan, because the effects on rich, they understand hunger, they develop generosity, and then the effects on the poor, I think with the poor, it also decreases any kind of envy and resentment towards the rich, because that everybody fasts. Since that everybody fasts, that there is no like envy or resentment. And then there's also social trust. When the poor understands that the rich will be donating some of their wealth during the month of Ramadan, it builds that social trust. And again, it contributes to that social balance between the rich and the poor.
Absolutely, you are very right. And if you don't have anything else to add, let's close this episode. I'm thinking we've been speaking for quite a while. We don't want to bore our viewers. What do you think, Zeynep?
Yeah, so we can just end it with that. The fasting is not only like a personal act of worship, but let's just think about it as a social institution that strengthens unity, builds empathy, encourages generosity, prevents social conflict, and inshallah develops strong moral character for all of us.
Thank you, Zeynep, for joining me today. Have a nice day, everybody, and goodbye.
Have a blessed Ramadan.